and Dan here with toolsinaction.com. If you've seen some of our videos, we've been doing a lot of stuff with the welding. Did the lawnmower project, a couple other things too. What we wanted to do was a how-to video, kind of actually really cover welding more in detail. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to have Dan basically explain everything to us. We're going to start off with the actual welder itself, safety gear, how to weld, pull versus push. Yeah. So basically what we're going to start off with is, this is the welder. This is called a MIG welder. And what exactly is a MIG welder?
Well, there's different kinds of welders. Before we jump into that, I just want to say, I'm not Mr. Expert Welder by any means. I'm learning too. I mean, I've welded for a while, but I'm just learning. We're kind of, MillerWelds.com is where you're going to want to go for all the videos and stuff like that. So, Eric was asking what kind of welder this is. This is a MIG welder. What a MIG welder is, it's a metal inert gas welder. Basically what it does is it produces a gas shield that goes through the cable here and actually protects the weld as you're welding, because the minute air hits it, you're going to have corrosion, stuff like that. So the inert gas, which is usually a mixture of argon and CO2, you can get like, I think that tank's 25, 15 or something like that. Or 25, 75, I'm sorry.
And then you can get a 90-10, which is 90 argon,
and 10 CO2. So, and there's all different kinds of ways you can weld. There's all different setups, we're just going to kind of show you guys the easiest way to get into it.
Okay, so again, this is a MIG welder.
This is a MIG welder. This is the Millermatic 211 auto set. Now we've kind of got a jump start on everybody else here because we have an auto set. Basically what the auto set feature is, it allows you to really easily dial in what kind of work you're working on, taking a lot of the guesswork out of it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to open up the side here. All MIG welders have a side cabinet. First thing you're going to notice is there's a big sheet up here. It tells you all your parameters. Like I said, it says the auto set feature, but we also can do it manually by going off these features. Basically, you have a spool of wire that's easily interchangeable. You put it in there, you run it through a feeder here. You have a drive wheel. Make sure your drive wheel matches your wire. Currently, we have a .30 wire on there, so we have a .30 drive wheel. The drive wheel pushes it through the wire out into the gun. In fact, we probably should plug this in before we did this. Okay, so that's your drive wheel. The wire goes up through here, up through the cable. I'm going to turn it on and actually show you. Go ahead. When you squeeze the trigger, your cable comes through. So, your cable comes out, and then this is called your stick out. Let me grab a pair of pliers. You want about a 3/8 inch or a 1/2 inch.
Just turn it off.
Yeah. For your stick out, you want at least a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch stick out there. Not too much longer, because then you're going to get a messy, crazy weld. So basically what this does is you'll put it on your work and hit the button, and then you can start welding. The gas shield comes out around it. Gas comes out of the sides here and comes out. This is your welding tip right here. It's a consumable. What they mean by consumables is they wear out. So you're going to be replacing that every once in a while. With the auto set, this can also do what's called flux core welding. Basically what that is instead of using the gas, the flux is built into the wire. So you can just use it no gas. This is good for outdoor situations, stuff like that. It's a little messier if you're in indoor when you're working with it. To change over to that, you'll just change the machine from positive to negative. So you just change this cord over. Every machine has instructions on how to do it, all kinds of stuff, and show you how to get it all set up for it. So right now we're just going with the gas setup. This machine has what's called an MVP, a multi-voltage plug. It can do 220 or 120, 230, whatever they call it. Okay, so you want to bring the camera in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's talk. You want safety gear? Safety
gear. We had a safety video, but for safety gear, whenever you're welding, you definitely want safety gear. You're working at like 2,500 degrees. I mean, in fact, just the other day I was welding, and or was I plasma cutting? Either or, but the torch went across my glove.
Your thumbs.
Backwards.
That's okay. I don't know if you had maybe weird hands.
But my torch went across my glove, and leather gloves, they protected me. So you definitely want that. You're going to want some kind of cotton jeans. Definitely looking to get in the right safety gear. Because if you're going to spend the money on a nice welder, you're going to get the right safety gear.
Yeah, you don't want to burn yourself, spend the extra couple bucks.
Exactly. And then
this is what's key, I think, for me.
Helmets. You can go out, you can get yourself a $20 Harbor Freight helmet, but you know, it's not going to work well. These are awesome.
Yeah, this one's like an auto dimming, which is very cool, because when you have it on, you can see your work. You can see exactly what you're going to do. As soon as you pull the trigger on that and you start, it lights up, it dims.
Fully adjustable, solar powered. This is the 64 Classic Custom. 64 Custom from Miller. Definitely a great helmet. Fits on your head, nice, light, easy to adjust. So basically, what we're going to do now is Eric's going to bring in the camera and we'll show you kind of things a little closer.
Alright. What do you want me to get?
Right here. Just want to show the gas. Okay, this is the gas canister right here. Basically, this is your fuel gauge telling you how much is in there. And then right here is your gauge on your cubic feet per hour.
So you're always going to have two gauges, right?
Right. So you want to be between 20 and 30. So that's right between 20 and 30. Okay, so if you're between 20 and 30, you're good to go. The key to welding is proper voltage and proper wire speeds. So if you come to the front of the unit, okay, this is the MVP settings. Is it kind of dark?
Yep.
Let's do it. Better?
Yep.
Okay, with the MVP settings, it's awesome. You just set, we have 0.030 wire. We'll turn it to that. And then what we'll do is we'll set our gauge. I know we're working with just 3/8. No. We're working with 1/8 inch steel today. So what we're going to do is just turn it to that. You turn the unit on. You get the blue light. Auto set. You're set to go. And from my experience with the auto set, it's pretty much dead on. You could tweak it just a little bit to get the perfect weld, but it's pretty much right dead on. So for someone just learning or anything like that, it's perfect. And like I said, you can go down and do manual settings. Also, right here is a switch for the gun, or if you wanted to get a spool to do aluminum. The reason you need a spool for aluminum is really soft, and it won't make it through this cable. So you get a gun that has an actual wheel up in here that spools your aluminum wire through it. So that's about that. So let's go ahead and kind of show you the ins and outs of welding. Stop it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just put those tack welds into place. Contrary to belief, you do not need to move this. You just need to hold it for at least 2 seconds is good to penetrate through. So let's go ahead and penetrate it. Okay, so what I did was, Eric likes to laugh when I weld. But basically what happened here, can you see those rings on the bottom? Can you see that?
You gotta hold it up by the lower. Yep, nice.
Those are heat rings. That means we penetrated well. So, that's on there pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to want to weld all the way down and finish the joints out. Now, a couple things when you're welding. There's different kinds of techniques, different travel speeds. There's push, there's pull. You know, pulling's usually good for heavier metal and pushing's usually good for lighter materials. So on this, I'm probably going to experiment a little bit, but I think I'm going to do a pull on this. And when I pull through, I'm going to do a series of little U's. Okay, everybody's got their own different way. I saw this on YouTube. A guy just does U's all the way down to work. And it actually, to me, I like it. It works out pretty good. You know, you can stitch back and forth. There's stitch welding. There's all kinds. You guys need to go on YouTube. Go to millerwelds.com and they will actually show you more on how to weld. I'm just showing you the very, very basics here. So what I'm going to do... Are you welding, Eric?
No, you are.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work down here a little bit. Should I do the whole thing?
Well, no, show a pull and show a push.
Okay.
Show.
Alright, first thing I'm going to demonstrate is a pull. Another thing to note is on your stick out here, like I said,
You can't move it down.
3/8 to a 1/2 inch. Is it all really high? Because that's going to look bad.
No, it's right on the work right now.
Okay. You want your stick out 3/8 to a 1/2 inch out. Sometimes you get a little ball on the end. You want to cut that off. So here we go. First thing.
When your metal's cold, you want to cut that off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But once it gets really hot, you don't have to worry about it.
Right,
Then.
and even
Okay.
sometimes if your machine's not powerful enough to penetrate a thick metal that you're trying to work on, you could just be really close. You could heat up the metal so it's already warm, and then you might be able to penetrate it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a quick pull across here. We'll pull to this first tack weld here. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, I felt a little uncontrolled on that one a little bit. I just felt like I was going a little bit too fast. But actually looks like we got good penetration. You want to grab your camera, come to the back. If you can see down here, it looks like we got some good penetration. There's a nice penetration line. Go ahead and zoom in on that weld, Eric, if you don't mind.
Yep.
From the other side. It looks a little thick for me. Like I should have sped up my travel speed a little bit, but let's try the push method. Might be a little messy on the push method. I'm going to do the push method between here, and then what I'll do back here is do a pull, but I'll pick up my travel speed. I mean, welding's a fine art, you know. You got the pliers. Cut this off. Welding's a fine art. You just need a lot of practice, and you know, it's always good to test it out before you, you know, tear into a project. Just get a couple pieces of the metal like this and go from there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a push method right here. I'm going to push across. Here we go. Okay, so that's the push method. As you see, I still think I'm putting a little high of a bead on there. So I'm going to try to bump it up a little bit. I can slow down my wire speed and boost up my travel speed a little bit, I think. Okay, so for this last spot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back across here, and then we're going to let Eric do it, the other side. Is that cool?
No, go ahead. Just you do it. You know better to do it than I do.
Actually, going a little faster, the weld looks a little better. What do you think? So this right here was pull, this was push, and this was pull a little faster. Actually, this probably is the best. So now remember, your work is extremely hot at times like this. You don't want to touch it. You want to let it cool before you even move it. It will burn you through the gloves. So what we're going to do now is we'll spin it to the other side and do one nice long weld across the whole thing. You can stop it. We'll wait for it to cool. Do is just pull all the way across.
Okay.
Okay, so that pretty much sums up the welding. Go to millerwelds.com, check out what they got on it. We're just telling you the basics. If you want to start out, you're probably going to start out with MIG welding. It's one of the easiest to get into. One of the easiest systems to get is the Miller-Matics with auto set. I mean, to be honest with you, I love Miller. Miller's just a great company. They've built welders for a long, long time, and they just built some great, good machines. The pros use them, and you just can't go wrong with a Miller welding machine. It just won't let you down. It just works great. So, and the welds we did today might not be, you might be a crazy welder and be like, those aren't the right welds, da-da-da. Well,
Well, I found the biggest thing I know for me when we did the lawnmower project was just practice. I wasn't able to pick it up and do it right away.
Right.
And even when I was done, I wasn't doing it the right way. It just takes a lot of time and practice, man. It's an art and a science.
Yep, exactly. You'll just learn. Just get yourself a bunch of scrap metal and get yourself a welder and start going. Big key features are safety. You gotta have safety. Hood, helmet, and good cotton gear and welding gloves. Don't go to get some cheap gloves. Welding gloves. You could go. You want to go cheap on something else, but not your safety gear.
Mayonnaise. No, not mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise? What are you talking about? Mayonnaise. So go ahead and check that out. We'll probably do another one on plasma cutters. That's my weld on the one side.
I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is understanding the penetration. That basically you're melting the metal, and that actually fills in the gap.
Yes, you have to melt the metal. So go ahead and check out toolsinaction.com. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page and our Twitter page. And don't forget to check out millerwelds.com. That's where you're going to find a host of information on stuff we talked about today.
Toolsinaction.com. When one tool just isn't enough.